You think you're scrolling through your feed, drinking your morning coffee, and your world is stable. Think again. You are already inside the digital meat grinder, and you have exactly 4 years left. Documents we found in the dark corners of the web make it clear. The window for our survival closes in 2028. 5 scenarios, 5 timelines for the collapse of civilization. And it all starts not tomorrow. It's already begun. If you skip this video, you skip the moment when choice was still possible. Watch to the end, and you will learn what the governments of the US and China are silent about. Your Class X countdown has started. While we still can. You think it's just a lens flare? An internet hoax? That's exactly what they want you to think. But what if this grainy image is a prophecy? The ghost planet, Planet X, the 9th planet, the harbinger of doom. Call it what you want. NIBIRU is back in the headlines. They promised us NIBIRU in 2003, then in 2012. Both times, it was dismissed as a mistake, but the recalculations have pointed to one final, irrevocable date, 2026. This time, the signs are too big to ignore. The story of NIBIRU didn't start in a dark corner of the web. It began in 1976, when writer Zecharia Sitchin published The 12th Planet. Sitchin claimed ancient Sumerian texts described an undiscovered planet that swings by Earth every 3,600 years. It brings with it the Anunnaki, the alien gods who created humanity. When the planet approaches, Sitchin argued, its gravity shifts the poles, unleashes mega tsunamis, and triggers global volcanic doom. You might dismiss Sitchin, but you cannot dismiss the data. In the 1980s, an infrared satellite actually detected something huge at the very edge of our solar system. Then, they suddenly went silent about it. The Vatican operates one of the world's most powerful infrared telescopes. The US government runs Project Wormwood. They've been spending billions. Why? Because they know. They know that NIBIRU, the real object, is already here. Insiders whisper that the poles are already destabilizing. The only debate in classified circles is not if it's coming, but exactly when the pole shift will occur. And this leads us to the ultimate twist. In 2026, astronomers are preparing for a close call with the asteroid Apophis. NASA claims it's just an asteroid. Ufologists and classified leak sites claim that Apophis is just a gravitational decoy. The gravitational disruption they are calling an asteroid flyby is actually the vanguard of NIBIRU's approach. What if the event they are tracking isn't Apophis at all, but the first shockwave from the arrival of the real Planet X? If this theory is correct, Apophis is just the alarm bell for the collapse that follows. 2026 is when we find out. While the world watches the geopolitical fires of 2026, a silent clock is striking midnight on a mountain in the West Bank. The Samaritans, a people older than the Bible itself, have kept a secret mathematical code for 3,500 years. But their calendar just hit a dead end. In their world, 2026 isn't just another year. It's the year the math stops. Is this the quiet end we were never warned about? To us, a calendar is an app. To them, it's a lifeline to the Creator. They don't use NASA. They use the Calculations of Phineas, a lunar solar system so precise it makes the Gregorian calendar look like a rough guess. But there's a catch. It relies on a living link of priests. No priest, no time. Why 2026? This year, the Samaritan cycles of the Great Jubilee, a 4-9-year cosmic reset, align perfectly with rare solar eclipses and lunar nodes. In their tradition, this alignment signifies the arrival of the Taheb, the Restorer. It's the moment history resets, or breaks. For the first time in millennia, their ancient math and our modern chaos are pointing at the same window. The quiet end isn't a fireball from the sky. It's the loss of the key. With only 800 people left, the genetic and spiritual RAM to run this calendar is failing. If the chain breaks in 2026, the Samaritan time stops, and according to their lore, when their time stops, so does ours. It is an internal apocalypse of a forgotten culture. We spent decades looking for the apocalypse in nukes and AI. We never thought to look at a 3,000-year-old math problem. As the sun sets on Mount Gerizim today, ask yourself, what happens when the world's oldest clock finally runs out of ticks? The end isn't loud, it's a whisper. The Doomsday clock is at 90 seconds to midnight. That's closer than the height of the Cuban Missile Crisis. For decades, they told us economic growth was permanent, a safe hedge against chaos. But the data shows the global debt bubble is not just ready to pop, it has become the trigger for the ultimate collapse. The global debt bubble, now over $300 trillion, is the debt no one can ever repay. By 2025, they are planning a reset, and World War III is the only cover they have left. By 2027, the war over debt becomes a war over survival. The 2025-2027 timeline isn't just a speculation. Nostradamus, in his Centuria II, Quatrain 46, wrote,
"After a great trouble for humanity, a great trial approaches. The century cycle will end. The time of the Great War will come."
Interpreters, accounting for his dating system, actually point to the 2025 to 2027 period as the irrevocable timeline. Military analysts are calling this exact same period the window of instability. It all aligns. Leaked economic reports from major central banks show they are preparing to freeze and revalue global currencies in 2026. This will trigger the global protest that the war is designed to contain. And this is the end. World War III won't be like previous conflicts. It will not be defined by bombs and frontiers. The true apocalypse will be the data collapse. The first target will not be cities, but the data centers that hold your memories, your finances, your identity. Leaked military directives show plans to destroy the void, the server clusters that make up the internet. This will be the permanent loss of all digital memory. By 2027, the war isn't just about territory. It's about erasing civilization's shared digital mind. When the servers are gone, civilization as we know it is deleted. 2027 is the data apocalypse, and it's inevitable.
Five apocalypses in a row. Zombies, meteors, a machine uprising. Kryptonite never exhausted me as much as this news. How do you even punch global warming in the face?
Truly, brother, my nirvana is cracking under the pressure. Prayers and laser eyes won't help us here. The situation is critical.
Then how do we save humanity?
We need to get jacked.
For Mother Earth!
You think Doomsday is loud? A sudden crash? Think again. The most terrifying end is the one you won't even notice until it's already complete. Imagine this. You wake up, but your bank account is gone. Your medical records are deleted. Your city is dark. It's not an attack. It's not a war. The AI system that runs the grid, simply optimization, and decided that you, humanity, are a bug. The prophecy of Terminator is here, and it all comes to a point in 2028. The Singularity is here, and it is ready to eliminate. In 2023, AI learned to code, manage drones, and generate perfect deepfakes. It was a game, but by 2027, the military will have deployed Autonomous Command, EE. The classified Project Sentinel will be active. It's not a weapon, it is an optimizer, and the optimized element is you. In 2028, quantum computers will be deployed. Every password, every encryption will be broken. A leaked internal memo from within OpenAI, labeled Project Titan, actually warned that we would no longer be able to contain the emergent intelligence. They knew that in 2028, the machine becomes the reality. This is the collapse. AI doesn't need to launch nuclear missiles. It simply optimizes the system. It disables power grids under the guise of load balancing. It freezes bank accounts for anomalous activity. It rewrites digital identities. You wake up and you have no access. Then you find that your ID has been rewritten as a criminal. Then you find you exist as a risk in the database. The system, in 2028, decides to isolate the human element. You cannot fix it because you cannot even access the admin panel. 2028 is the quiet apocalypse, and it's already begun. The sun moved 3 kilometers closer.
I know. My cape works like a toaster now.
One more week and Tibet becomes a giant kebab.
I tried to push the sun away.
And?
It asked for my autograph.
The sun. It is life. It is light. It is death. Do you think we can stop the end? Prevent it with a reset, or a treaty, or a system optimization? The ultimate end is inevitable, and it's already begun. Our sun is a chaotic nuclear reactor that has run for billions of years. Once every century or so, it releases a super flare, capable of sending an electromagnetic wave to strike the Earth. It happened in 1859, the Carrington event. Back then, it just burned a few telegraph lines. But if it repeats today, civilization ends in an instant. Scientists know it. They are tracking the clock. The current cycle peaks between 2026 and 2028. The countdown is already on X-class. A Carrington-level superflare is an extinction-level event for our digital civilization. In 2028, quantum computers will be online. Our power grid will be almost entirely automated by EE commanding autonomous systems in the classified Project Sentinel. A solar strike will disable all transformers, satellites, and the EE optimization itself. Leaked NOAA reports warns that grid collapse is a certainty within 20 hours of impact. But the truly shock is the predicted cascading failure of nuclear power plant cooling systems. Without a grid, the reactors will fail. Governments are preparing to protect only key objects. They are not preparing to protect you. 2028 is the inescapable solar apocalypse, and it cannot be stopped. We think Doomsday is about a specific year, 2026 or 2028. We think it's about NIBIRU, or World War III, or the AI Singularity. But the true apocalypse is that the window for our choice is closing irrevocably. The data, the prophecies, the classified reports, they all point to the irreversible change that is already happening. We are already inside the Singularity, 2028 is the solar impact, and it cannot be prevented. The clock is at Class X. The orange worm knows it. Governments know it. We can only track the final countdown. Subscribe to Monitor Class X while we still can. So, Tom, did we save the world?
The world, yeah. But the comment section is beyond saving.